don't play c4. Let's say they play the London system. Yeah, like I'm sure people play London system against you. Yeah, what do you do here?
Yeah.
This is like most popular opening on earth.
Yeah.
If-
To be honest, at this stage, either I'll continue fianchetting or I'll
that's
push
totally
the,
fine.
yeah, or I'll push the pawn to d5. But probably, yeah,
Both are fine.
probably
Both are fine.
fianchetting. Yeah.
Both are fine. Yeah. And with d5, do you have a certain way to arrange your pieces, or do you just like wing it, make it
I
up?
I mean, I if I do it, I might end up trading the black bishop. I try to not put my pawn on c6. Oh, sorry, my knight on c6.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Mhm.
And I try to hope to maybe get a break either on the c file or the e file. But beyond that, I, I'm still kind of stuck because I never, as black in this position, it's very rare that the e5, the e file break makes sense. So I end, it's usually too much under control. So I kind of
Yeah.
like end up being stuck waiting for him to do something.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will show you something since you said that sentence that you will like, because you will get exactly what you want. I will show you something where you will get this e5 break. So there is a system I like where you will get the e5 break, as impossible as it sounds right now. So let's just play the moves. So let's say we fianchetto, we don't show what we are going to do with our pawns yet. White does his typical London system moves. We complete the fianchetto. They do, you know the London system, yeah? E3,
Yeah.
C3, all this. They just don't even look at the board. They just do these moves. And here we are going to play D6. So already we are blunting this bishop. This bishop is less effective thanks to this pawn on D6. And we do have an intention of going E5 later. Now you may be wondering, like, how will we ever achieve it? I will show you. So let's say castle. Let's say we play knight c6. You don't worry about d5. First of all, right now
Knight
it's hanging.
c6 is a new move for me.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it is
And it
possible.
makes
So
a difference if it's c6 or d7?
Yes.
This,
And I will explain exactly why. Because our plan is this knight will get to d7. And now, no force on earth stops us from e5. The only way to stop e5 is to play d5 themselves. In which case we are fine. We can use the e5 square for our knight, and we have a game. Their bishop again. We have this pawn structure c7 and d6, which means their bishop is not creating any major problems. We got our piece to e5, and we continue from here. It is not a very open position, but an interesting one which you can try. Yeah. And
no, that's it's actually a very interesting maneuver. I've always, I start by like moving the rook on the e file, sometimes the queen, and I still never achieved to get that break.
But this is a nice system. So here already, if they, let's say, complete their London system, we play e5. So if they take, we take back, and if you realize we have enough control, bishop, knight, knight, and they only have knight and bishop. So that's why we didn't put our knight on d7, because we needed both these knights on these particular squares. So and it's not a winning game for black, but black is fine. You can play this aggressively later on with even f5, maybe e4, things like that, pushing on the king side and center. Maybe at some point you play a preventative king h8. So let's say I'll just make some move for white, let's say king h8, just to avoid any tactics on this diagonal, and then you can play with f5 and just how the game evolves, but you will not have major problems. Like, it's still a long way to go, but when the knight moves, the bishop will be out. Yeah, you can try this. It's an interesting position, very different from the things that you have been trying, but clearly not very one-sided. Like, it's not one where white is having all the fun.
No, I really like it. Because it's natural for me that the e file break. So I've tried every other way to prepare it besides this little maneuver, because I always avoided the knight to c6. To be honest, mostly from the common rule, I thought just put it in general. It's better behind the pawn.
True. In general, in d4 openings, in queen pawn openings, the knight should not block the c pawn. That's what I teach my students as well. The only place the only time knight on c6 makes any sense is if we can pull off e5, which we are doing now. Now as I showed you, like there is no way to stop e5 other than like playing d5 themselves. If they play bishop g5, you just sidestep. You still will get e5. Yeah, so e5 is coming, and if they play d5, now this knight on c6 went to a good square. Why is it any worse than white's knight? We are more centralized, and yeah, everything is fine. It's a complex middle game. At some point, if they play d5, you will be able to attack this pawn with your pawn breaks c6, maybe e6, probably c6, and yeah, you can try this out and see how you like it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
nice one.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can talk a little bit about your white openings if you like.
Yeah, I have a quick question. So, well,
Go
actually,
ahead.
I'd love to see your take first of all on my white openings, and
but maybe
yeah.
your question first. Yeah.